Hello friends and welcome. We are going to watch pro player perspectives for some of the best supports at TI. Today's video we're focusing on Elder Titan, who's been picked 4 times so far at the main event, day 1 only, and he's won 3 of those games, seeing play as both a 4 and a 5. So if you want to play Elder Titan, let's take a look at some things you can do on this hero. The very first thing we can highlight is they are body blocking this wave, because this is actually a matchup that's not so great for him. It is a Monkey King and Lion versus Mars and Elder Titan. Elder Titan can usually fight a lot of heroes with his extra damage and armor, but Monkey King with his Jingu mastery, if he gets to 4 hits, all your harass doesn't really amount to much. So you'll notice here, the first use of his spirit, he tries to make sure he hits both heroes, and he's going to harass a little bit, but once he starts getting some Jingu stacks on himself, he wants to be very careful. He doesn't want Monkey King to get too many stacks, so he's just going to do what poking he can. When the support is separated from Monkey King, then he'll try to harass a little bit. Using Astral Spirit, he's moving it around, not just hitting one hero, but making sure to grab all the creep waves, all the heroes. You don't always have to fight, and in this case, because the lane matchup's not so great, he's gonna go drag the creep wave. Position 4 Elder Titan frequently starts with Windlace or Boots, and so if you don't think your matchup is very good, keep this as an option for you. Between the Spirit, giving you extra armor and movement speed, along with your actual starting items, you can very safely drag creep waves in unfavorable matchups. And whenever you use Astral Spirit, really make use of the travel time. You notice there, he hit line, he hit the creeps. A lot of us probably would have just dragged the Spirit back, but he makes sure to send the Astral Spirit a little further out just to scout a bit, see if there are any enemy heroes, because you can see where the Spirit is. So make full use of this Spirit, not only to get the bonus damage and armor and movement speed, but also just the vision it provides by moving it around the map. Something else the Spirit can be used for is to attempt to stack. Now he actually misses this stack in this case, but because the Astral Spirit has no cast time, he can go ahead and attempt stacks that he can't see, even as a melee hero, which is really useful. And again, look what he's doing. Just a little bit of extra scouting, gonna go hit some extra creeps as well, and this will give him a bunch of damage and movement speed and armor from these creeps and these creeps. So whenever there are stacks, you can attempt to use your Spirit to stack, but you can also make use of those stacks by getting all this extra movement speed, because then you can just run around the map a little more. You're not necessarily going to fight all the time with it, but now you're just extra speedy for a little bit. When your team sieges towers like this, again, the Spirit, the scouting information, you can use it to scout the trees, make sure no one is waiting to suddenly jump your team and kill all of you. You can also use the Spirit to check high ground like so, something that not many heroes can do, and even less melee heroes can do it. So it's something a bit unique to Elder Titan to be able to check these high ground spots for free, and you can put your sentries on the low ground. And I mean really, look how far you can scout with that Spirit. It's all the way over here. Look where his hero is. He's over here. He's about to check Roshan. It's kind of crazy. Elder Titan is also pretty good at defending high ground, not only because Astral Spirit and Echo Stomp are very long range, but because as, for example, someone stays up too long, you initiate on the enemy mid laner, they all run up to try to help out. And this lines them up for a very good Earth Splitter, forcing them to either take a bunch of damage or run away. And you can also wait for your team to, do the initiation for you. You see a bunch of the damage go out on the Slardar there, and the team can then clean up once you get a really nice combo, and you continue to amplify your team even after your Earth Splitter's down. You use Astral Spirit to maybe scout anyone trying to escape in the trees, cancel any TPs, things like that. Here's another example of his great high ground defense. You use Astral Spirit and Stomp from really far away, and whoever you hit will be asleep long enough for Earth Splitter, I don't know why I called Echo Splitter all the time, guys. Earth Splitter will land, it'll hit people, it's easy. And if you don't hit the Stomp, you just wait till the next cooldown is up. We're going to move on to the OG versus Secret game and another Astral Spirit thing. We're emphasizing this a lot, but it's key to the hero. Notice how he's kind of timing it with the next creep wave coming in. And so this is going to hit 4 more creeps, and he's going to get just that much extra damage, and he can use it to come contest the pull a little bit. But this matchup's actually really rough for him. So Ursa's another hero he doesn't really want to trade too long with, and Enchantress is a hero who's also quite annoying for him to handle. She's not been very popular so far at TI, but the panel loved this pick because she was the theoretical answer to what Elder Titan does. which is he loves when two people play in the lane, so you get to easily hit them both with the spirit, you hit the creeps, and then you punch the people, you deny creeps, things like that. But Enchantress tends to play outside the lane a lot, and then she'll steal creeps, and those creeps don't care that you take good trades against them with your extra damage and armor, because those creeps are just going to die. And so Enchantress is one of the few heroes that really can fight with Elder Titan quite easily. Not only is she fast in range, but then because of those creeps she gets. I didn't really mention it before, but just in case your teammates ever accidentally cut the trees they're standing on, Echo Stomp is a great disengage tool because you just put the enemies to sleep for a few seconds and then you just all run away. There's not much they can do. It hits a huge area. It stomps where the spirit is and where your hero is. So it's pretty easy to hit at least one hero you need to, but possibly even both in the lane. Elder Titan scales pretty well with gold, and so if someone needs to defend towers and there's no one else who can really do it, you're a pretty tanky hero who can even handle like when the enemy offlaner comes to harass. Magnus isn't like, he's not known to be the most dangerous offlaner, and actually ET does get killed off later on his own, but you're pretty survivable, and with Astral Spirit and Echo Stomp, that kind of gives you a way to clear the waves and possibly escape. So it can be something you guys look to do as you play ET. You can defend these towers. Now in this alliance versus Beast Host game, he's against two melee heroes, and he's here to make space for the Spectre. So he's got his boots, and he's just gonna punch people. He's gonna go for denies. He's standing in the sandstorm. He doesn't even care. He's just gonna punch people because you're pretty strong in these kind of matchups. Nyx isn't, that terrifying of a laner, and Sand King level 1 isn't that scary either. So when you have this room to be really strong, really scary, you want to make use of that. You want to go for a lot of denies. You want to punch them a bunch, get a bunch of harass in while you can, because after a while they'll get some levels and it'll be harder to do this. Even without Astral Spirit, if you take your passive level 2 because you think you can get a lot of right clicks in, you can still harass people a bunch. And you'll notice this Elder Titan is just solo zoning people, really. Nyx can't even like return because he's getting 2 zoned away, so now it's time to turn your attention to the Sand King and knock him all the way back. And then who walked up? Nyx walked up, so now let's go punch that Nyx. That's kind of what you want to do when you have a good matchup as Elder Titan in the laning stage. As his team sieges this tower, you'll notice he's just standing back because he can help out with his long range abilities. He's just gonna chill, and then you know what? Maybe we can get her as his tower ends, and then he'll use Echo Stomp. You don't even have to commit it, but if you see an opportunity, then you can go for it. So it's kind of cool. You can just threaten with the spirit, and so they don't always know, like, do I have to back off right away? In this case, he didn't, and he got killed for it. When you have some downtime, you can farm creep waves using Echo Stomp. It is a nice AoE ability, and this is a good time to explain. Echo Stomp here says it does 90 stomp damage. It does, but it actually does it twice. So around your hero, it does 90 physical damage, and around the Astral Spirit, it does 90 magical damage. So when you're split up, that's how it does that damage. 90 damage, 90 damage. When the spirit is next to you, then you do 180 damage because you're doing the 90 physical, 90 magical. It combines the two. And that's also how his passive works, actually. I should explain that. His hero reduces the physical armor. The spirit reduces the magical armor. So you can throw the spirit out to reduce magic resistance without having to endanger your actual hero. Let's break down this team fight. So they're going on the Lina. If he tries to stomp someone else close to this Shadow Demon, the Shadow Demon will just save that person with Disruption. So he's going to go ahead and use Stomp to put this Shadow Demon asleep, and then he's going to throw out his ultimate to try to hit that Wind Ranger. Almost got her. But first he has to kind of like put the Shadow Demon to sleep, because otherwise Shadow Demon will just save whoever gets targeted. In this gank, Lion and Lina have the Sand King plenty controlled. So you'll notice he threw out the Spirit just to reduce Sand King's magic resistance. But he doesn't actually have to use Stomp. He can save it if other heroes come in or anything, but he doesn't really need to put Sand King to sleep because he's just hard stunned. He also built a Veil this game. You can build things like Veil or Medallion, Solar Crest, and they combine really well with your Natural Order passive because you already reduce the enemy's base resistances down, and then you can further amplify your team with those other items. So especially if you're a position 5, you can consider those like normal supporting items like Force Staff Glimmer, but if you don't need those so much and you think you have like a strong team, in this case there's lots of magic damage, lots of spell damage, so then he got a Veil to boost his team up. In team fights, you want to try to use Earth Splitter down a pathway that heroes have to walk. This puts the enemy in a weird situation where they have to decide, like, do I walk through here to get to the fight? I'll be hit by this ultimate. I don't really want to do that. So do I wait a few seconds? Do I take a different path? So you'll notice his path. It went through this choke point of the staircase and even leads to the other choke point of another staircase. That's pretty different if he aims it down here, right? So he might still hit the Sven and the Nyx, but like no one's really gonna stand on this cliff area. No one can walk through here, and no one's gonna really be back here either. But if you put it back here, heroes that aren't these two guys, say a Shadow Demon trying to come up to save his teammate, now he gets hit by the ultimate as well. So when you're using these kind of ultimates that are really long range, cover a huge ground, try to angle them through pathways whenever you get the chance. And of course, you have to hit the important heroes. You know, you can't just put it in the pathway. You still got to hit Sven or whoever you're aiming for. If you can help it, try not to be the person in the front when you go on ganks. Because you have such long range abilities, it's a lot easier to save teammates and to land good Earth Splitters when they go on your team first. So ideally, you're kind of the person in the back. In this case, I don't think they were expecting Beast Coast to be so close. And sometimes you don't have a team that can go first, so you kind of have to go in the front, and you're a strength hero, so you can kind of do it, but ideally you have someone else to be in the front, so then you have an easy time landing all your long range, big AoE abilities. And you can kind of see that here. Not that we want the enemy team to be killing our Lina, but because the enemy team is killing our Lina, you can see how easy it was for him to land a 2-man stomp there, and he also hit the Nyx who was right on top of him, so easy 3 people right there. I put my whole hand up. 3 people right there. But then this Echo Splitter, this Earth Splitter, is actually going to hit all 5 enemy heroes on Beast Coast. Now, when it comes to Roche fights, you can use your Spirit to check the Roshan pit, something that many other heroes can't do. It's a very nice way to safely scout what's happening. You can move the Spirit around and then use an Echo Stomp to provide that crowd control. Last game, we saw a position 5 Elder Titan more focused on amplifying his team, and this time we're going to watch a position 4 Elder Titan who looks to carry the game. So when you get things like Aghanims and some right-click items, you really scale because you can take a bunch of damage as this hero, Astral Spirit, steals a bunch, and you can even get the talent for it. So let's take a look at that. Again, the lane matchup's pretty bad, so you see him dragging creep waves here at the start. Always keep in mind that this is an option for you. If it's not great to just right-click, and in this case, you're dealing with a Silencer and a Sven. That's not so fun, and Night Stalker's not that strong of a laner, so he's dragging creeps. And just to reiterate, because this is a matchup where he doesn't look to right-click as much, it's hard to fight that Silencer, he ends up taking Echo Stomp level 2, and that allows him to secure the first blood. So because he can be this hero that ends up scaling pretty well, we can allow him to defend the lanes. In this game, EG lost their safe lane tower pretty early, and this top part of the map became a bit dangerous. Elder Titan is a support. He's not that important if he does get killed, but if he gets the farm, that's pretty good. So you see they allow him to stay up here and just farm up, get a lot of these last hits, and that's going to allow him to buy an Aghanims. Now I should say you shouldn't always go for this build. In this case, he has very active teammates, so they're running around and doing things, and that's going to give him time to farm up a little bit. The build up to Aghanims, you know, it's pretty slow. It's kind of an expensive item, so you're not going to be as useful as if you built a medallion or a veil, those sort of items, but you will be strong later. So it really does depend on the game. I don't play enough Elder Titan to be able to give you the full explanation, I think. I think it's something I need to test a bit more, but I at least want to give you guys that warning. You know, if you need to be useful in the early game, you probably can't go for this build. It's when you feel like, you know what, we will kind of go later. I think I do enough. Like, I have active teammates who don't need to farm extremely heavily, such as Night Stalker and this Void Spirit. They are looking to be a bit more active rather than farm heavily. That opens up some farming space for you on the Elder Titan. Here, EG's looking to fight because Night Stalker's used his ultimate, so they have a great vision advantage here. You'll notice he's allowing his team to run in first. That's going to line up a great Earth Splitter. I said it right this time, guys. 3-man Earth Splitter. He is silenced, so he can't use the other abilities quite yet, but he got the important one out. Now he can try to like do a bit of a zoning stomp, let's say. And this fight ends up being a little deep, but you can still kind of see like the benefits of positioning a little further back. Here in this fight, the enemy team keeps focusing the Luna, and that frees up Elder Titan to get his good abilities off. Lots of nice lining up here. And then because he hit so many people with the spirit, look at him go. Look at him chunk down these heroes. Look at the damage this man's doing. He hits for 400 damage on heroes with barely any armor because he's reduced all of their armor, all their base armor. So this is how carry ET works, and especially in our pubs where ET is not seen very often, people do not expect how much damage this hero can do, especially if you take this level 15 talent, this 25 Astral Spirit hero attack, and if you take the attack speed talent as well, ideally. That means every hero you hit gives 105 damage. If you hit all 5 heroes, that's over 500. That's more than a Divine Rapier. Wild. And that's how, surprise, this level 15 ET suddenly starts carrying the game, especially in your pubs. By the way, guys, ET's passive does not work on Roshan. He had to buy back for this fight, but because Sven is respawning here, that allows him to set up the Echo Stomp because he's a good player. He can time this very easily, and that will then set up the Earth Splitter, and then he'll punch once. Look how much damage he did. I know Abed came in and kind of finished off the kill along with Arteezy, but a lot of that was crit doing the damage because of how Earth Splitter works. It does max HP as damage, you reduce everyone's resistances, and then you come in punching them with your stapler because you're BKB'd from the Aghanims. That's kind of how you carry these games. As they siege these high grounds, look how he's using the Spirit. He's scouting the back lines so that they know what's going on. He can also then use an Echo Stomp, or you can just let the Spirit go back. Either's fine. While he's BKB'd, he comes up and punches the tower because he's spell immune. It's very safe for him to do so. He used the Lotus on his teammate to remove the silence and to protect him a bit, so he couldn't remove it from himself. But then while they're diving in deep, you can land hits like that. And look, he's gonna just punch this guy, punch him down. So that's kind of it, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you like this. We kind of like speed ran through 4 different games looking for like different tidbits of what ET can do. But for the next video, as like TI continues, let me know if you'd prefer like we just watch one entire replay to just see like the entire game. Let me know what you guys like. Thanks. Bye.